Hey guys, welcome to our seventh episode of What the Fuck Are We Doing? I'm still Alicia and I'm still here with Kareen, who's going to be taking charge of tonight's show.
Yeah.
And I just want to say a big little shout out, or big little shout out to our 200 or over 200 followers on Facebook. I know it's not a lot, but we're happy about that. So thanks guys for subscribing and liking, etc. And tonight we're actually doing a requested topic. So I'm going to give it over to Kareen and she's going to tell us a little bit more about what we're chatting about.
Hi. Anyway, so this was requested by one of our close friends. I'm not gonna name names, but they requested that we please do this for them because they want to get a bit of more knowledge on the subject. I don't know what I wanted to say there, but
So
it
I'm
happened.
sure you look
Okay,
confused.
it happened. So tonight's subject, I know I said last night with my big mouth and my commentary that I'm gonna do country music, but I decided against it because we got a request.
No, it comes first.
Yeah, it comes first, people. So request your things, man. Like, comment on YouTube, on the links. Like, get in contact with us. Feel free.
We
Be
don't
happy.
bite. I promise.
Okay, so tonight we're discussing borderline personality disorder. I will do a few things that I got, but I will put all the links to the websites in the description below on the video so you guys can go and read through it yourselves and see how you find it. And
If you identify, if you know anyone with it, yeah, get in touch.
so just a disclosure before I start, we are not, and I repeat, we are not doctors and we are not therapists.
Yeah.
So if you by any chance feel you connect with one or two points, go and seek professionals. Don't just because perhaps yesterday you felt those two emotions or whatever, now all of a sudden think you got the borderline personality disorder or any mental health that we discuss.
Yeah.
So please guys,
Have discussed or not discussed,
yeah.
actually.
So please guys, don't self-diagnose. Go to a professional and get the help from the very start. So let's start off with the history of borderline personality disorder. So from now on, I'm just going to call it BPD because that's how everyone abbreviates it in all the things that I read today. Initially, it was suggested that borderline disorder.
Wait, what?
Can we rewind?
I thought we were being serious, guys.
sorry, it was my tongue, it wasn't me. Okay. Initially, it was suggested that borderline disorder bordered on or overlapped with schizophrenia, non-schizophrenic psychosis, and neurosis such as anxiety and depressive disorders. Because it seemed to resemble other psychiatric diagnoses, it was commonly believed to be a wastebasket diagnosis, lacking in diagnostic precision and validity. I think I said it right. Like valid.
Validity. Oh, no, that's how I would say it.
You verstaan. Do you understand? Yeah? And only useful for patients who did not fall clearly into other diagnostic categories. It also was observed initially that the disorder responded very poorly to treatment with psychotherapies and to medications when they first became available. Unfortunately, a large number of mental health professionals, even those in academic settings, apparently unfamiliar with the scientific literature published on borderline disorder over the past 50 years, still think that this is true. However, a substantial number of research studies have now shown that borderline disorder does have diagnostic validity and integrity. Some studies indicate that the disorder does not overlap with schizophrenia. Also, the disorder does appear to be a distinct diagnostic entity, although it co-occurs frequently with other mental disorders such as major depressive and bipolar 2 disorders. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD like we know it, substance use disorders, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and with several other personality disorders. Most importantly, medications and specific forms of psychotherapy have been shown to be effective in the treatment of borderline disorder, thereby providing substantial hope to those who suffer from it and to their families and friends. To the following is a historical review of the major advances in our understanding and treatment of borderline disorder. That's a mouthful.
That is quite a mouthful.
Okay, but that's
a
just
lot.
like the introduction to the history.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. When I read through the history of this, it actually grabbed me because it is one of those mental illnesses that people don't take serious. So, first point is, the first thing that happened, descriptions of individuals demonstrating the symptoms of borderline disorder were first mentioned in the medical literature almost 3,000 years ago. That's a long time ago.
That is a long time ago.
In 1938, the American psychoanalyst Adolf Stern published one of the most important articles to appear on borderline disorder, then or since. In it, he described in detail most of the symptoms that are now considered diagnostic criteria of the disorder. He correctly suggested the likely causes of the disorder and listed the fundamental principles of what he believed to be the most effective form of psychotherapy for these patients, many of which are currently still in use. The psychoanalyst Robert Knight in the 1940s introduced the concepts of ego psychology into his description of borderline disorder. Ego psychology deals with mental functions that enable us to realistically perceive events, successfully integrate our thoughts and feelings, and to develop effective responses to life around us.
So it's like basically, if I understand you correctly, it's like having a whole scenario play out in your head and you kind of think that it really happened. If, that's what I'm kind of getting from that. I could be totally off, I don't know. But like, or like people that like sit and daydream, but then they think it actually happened. And when they chat to someone about it or whatever, it's like, okay, what are you talking about? It's like, no, but we went there on this day.
Well,
and it's like really, I don't know, I could be wrong.
We'll get to what it is actually just now. We just get the history.
Am I jumping the gun?
Yes, just a little bit.
Just a smidge.
The major contribution in the field was made by the psychoanalyst Otto Kernberg in the 1960s. He proposed that mental disorders were determined by three distinct personality organizations: psychotic, neurotic, and borderline personality. Kernberg has been a strong proponent of modified psychoanalytic therapy for those patients with borderline disorder who are able to benefit from it. In 1968, Roy Grinker and his colleagues published results of the first research conducted on patients with borderline disorder, which he referred to as the borderline syndrome. The next major advance occurred in 1975 when John Gunderson and Margaret Singer published seminal and widely read article that synthesized the relevant
I wish you guys could have seen that. That was hilarious. That was bloody brilliant.
Sorry, the relevant published information on borderline disorder and proposed its major characteristics.
Characteristics.
I'm so sorry, people. I think I'm just a bit tired.
Yeah, this is me repeats of me last night, definitely.
In 1979, John Brinkley, Bernard Bateman, and Robert Friedel provided anecdotal evidence that medications, specifically low doses of neuroleptics, known as antipsychotic agents, are effective in reducing some of the symptoms of borderline disorder. Friedel's research team published support for this proposal in 1986 in one of the first two placebo-controlled studies of any medication in subjects with borderline disorder. In the 1980s, the first of a large number of neuroimaging Biochemical and genetic studies were published indicating that borderline disorder is associated with biological disturbances in those brain areas related to the symptom of the disorder. In 1991, Marshall Linehan introduced dialectical behavior therapy, also known as DBT, a specific and now well-documented form of psychotherapy for patients with borderline disorder prone to increased anger, self-injurious behavior, and who require and request frequent brief hospitalizations. More recent advancements in the field of borderline disorder have been a marked improvement in understanding its prevalence and disabling effects, its fundamental nature, and the development of specific and effective methods of pharmacological and psychological treatment.
I'm actually so glad you get to do these things because those are big words,
I
man.
know, right?
You look so nervous.
Over the past 20 years, a number of lay support and advocacy organizations have been founded or expanded their interest to enhance awareness of, knowledge about, and treatment for borderline disorder. The most prominent ones include the Borderline Personality Disorder Resource Center, the National Education Alliance for Borderline Personality Disorder, the Treatment and Research Advancements Association for Personality Disorder, and the Black Sheep Foundation. The missions of these organizations are to increase the awareness of borderline disorder and its treatments, provide the names of clinicians.
You look so frustrated. Let me see. Phew. Yeah, I'd probably say I would probably like it's like clinical help.
Yes,
basically.
Skilled in the diagnosis and treatment of borderline disorder, and provide support and educational opportunities to those suffering from the disorder and their families and friends. In the last decade, the National Alliance on Mental Illness added BPD to its list of high priority mental disorders.
Well,
So that's the history.
that's a lot of info to take in. Like that really is. Geez, that's quite hectic. To be honest, like.
We're only getting started, sweetie.
Yeah, I can see you've got like a whole stack of papers. Well, not like a whole stack.
It's my
I mean,
notes.
Like 5.
It's my notes. Don't judge the notes. It works better than doing it on the laptop because the screen doesn't work with my eyes this time of the day. Anyway. Okay, here's a little overview. Borderline personality disorder is a mental health disorder that impacts the way you think and feel about yourself and others, causing problems functioning in everyday life. It includes self-image issues, difficulty managing emotions and behavior, and a pattern of unstable relationships. With borderline personality disorder, you have an intense fear of abandonment or instability, and you may have difficulty tolerating being alone. Yet, inappropriate anger, impulsiveness, and frequent mood swings may push others away, even though you want to have loving and lasting relationships. Borderline personality disorder usually begins by early adulthood. The condition seems to be worse in young adulthood and may gradually get better with age. If you have borderline personality disorder, don't get discouraged.
Remix.
Many people with this disorder get better over time with treatment and can learn to live satisfying lives.
Okay, but guys, also, if you are diagnosed with BPD, apologies, like, don't just hope and pray it goes away, guys. It's not fucking flu. It's not gonna disappear, after you've stayed in bed for 2 or 3 days. Like, get the help you need. I mean, like Karine mentioned, it can get a hell of a lot better if you really do something about it. And it's not just for this, it's for any kind of mental illness. I mean, we've covered, it's not really mental illness, but like narcissistic behavior. Like, I don't know, there's probably not a cure for that or like any kind of medication that can really help for that. I'm not sure. But I mean, like bipolar
Can't
as
listen
well.
to the first episode.
Yeah. Use that as a reference, but don't quote anything I'm
We
saying.
did bipolar disorder.
Yeah, we've done bipolar disorder. So I mean, like if you've got any kind of mental illness, if you're diagnosed, do something about it. It's like I said, it's not like the flu. It's not going to go away. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
do the things you need to do, damn it.
Okay. Borderline personality disorder affects how you feel about yourself, how you relate to others, and how you behave. Signs and symptoms may include the following: an intense fear of abandonment, even going to extreme measures to avoid real or imagined separation or rejection. A pattern of unstable, intense relationships, such as idealizing someone one moment and then suddenly believing the person doesn't care enough or is cruel. Rapid changes in self identity and self image that include shifting goals and values and seeing yourself as bad or as if you don't exist at all. Periods of stress related paranoia and loss of contact with reality, lasting from a few minutes to a few hours. Impulsive and risky behaviors such as gambling, reckless driving, unsafe sex, spending sprees, binge eating, or drug abuse, or sabotaging success by suddenly quitting a job or ending a positive relationship.
I always binge eat.
Suicidal threats or behavior or self-injury, often in response to fear of separation or rejection. Wide mood swings lasting from a few hours to a few days, which can include intense happiness, irritability, shame, or anxiety. Ongoing feelings of emptiness, inappropriate, intense anger, such as frequently losing your temper, being sarcastic or bitter, or having physical fights. Now, being sarcastic, I mean, I am sarcastic to a T.
That's
but,
like our third language.
Yeah, just saying. So if you're just a sarcastic person, doesn't mean you got borderline personality disorder. Just saying.
Just calm down.
Okay, when to see a doctor. If you're aware that you have any of the signs or symptoms above, talk to your doctor or mental health provider. Yeah, okay. If you have suicidal thoughts, if you have fantasies or mental images about hurting yourself or have other suicidal thoughts, get help right away by taking one of these actions. Call 911 or your local emergency number immediately. Call the suicide hotline number. Call your mental health provider, doctor, or other health care provider. Reach out to a loved one, close friend, trusted peer, or co-worker. Contact someone from your faith community. If you notice signs or symptoms in a family member or friend, talk to that person about seeing a doctor or a mental health provider. But you can't force someone to seek help. If the relationship causes you significant stress, you may find it helpful to see a therapist yourself. Then the causes. Excuse me. As with other mental health disorders, the causes of borderline personality disorder aren't fully understood. In addition to environmental factors such as history of child abuse or neglect, borderline personality disorder may be linked to genetics. Some studies of twins and families suggest that personality disorders may be inherited or strongly associated with other mental health disorders among family members. Brain abnormalities. Some research has shown changes in certain areas of the brain involved in emotion, regulation, impulsivity, and aggression. In addition, certain brain chemicals that help regulate mood, such as serotonin, may not function properly. Then the risk factors. Some factors related to personality development can increase the risk of developing borderline personality disorder. These include hereditary, thank you.
Like the movie.
Predisposition. You may be at a higher risk if a close relative, your mother, father, brother, or sister, has the same or similar disorder. A stressful childhood. Many people with the disorder report being sexually or physically abused or neglected during childhood. Some people have lost or were separated from a parent or close caregiver when they were young, or had parents or caregivers with substance misuse or other mental health issues. Others have been exposed to hostile conflict and unstable family relationships.
Shit.
Borderline personality disorder can damage many areas of your life. If you negatively affect intimate relationships, jobs, school, social activities, and self image, resulting in repeated job changes or losses, not completing an education, multiple legal issues such as jail time, conflict filled relationships, marital stress or divorce, self injury such as cutting or burning, and frequent hospitalizations, involvement in abusive relationships, unplanned pregnancies, sexually transmitted infections, motor vehicle accidents, and physical fights due to impulsive and risky behavior, attempted or completed suicide. In addition, you may have other mental health disorders such as depression, alcohol or other substance misuse, anxiety disorders, eating disorders, bipolar disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, or any other personality disorders. That is why it is so important that you go to a doctor to get diagnosed. Don't diagnose yourself, people. I cannot put enough emphasis on this. You can't diagnose yourself. You can't. It's just impossible.
And I think, like, as Karina's reading this, or like whenever you guys do listen to this, you might sit there and, think to yourself, wow, like, excuse me, like I can relate to a hell of a lot of these things. So I don't know if you've gone through any of the things that she has mentioned, as a kid, or if you are going through anything like that, even as an adult, like she mentioned, marriage or divorce or whatever the case may be. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that you've got it. It's like, just get go to a psychologist, or just go to therapy. It could literally just be stress where it's stemming from a completely different place and it's got nothing to do with the disorder. So yeah, self-diagnosis is not a thing, guys.
Yeah. Personality disorders, including borderline personality disorder, are diagnosed based on a detailed interview with your doctor or mental health provider, a psychological evaluation that may include completing questionnaires, a medical history and exam, a discussion of your signs and symptoms. A diagnosis of borderline personality disorder is usually made in adults, not in children or teenagers. That's because what appear to be signs and symptoms of borderline personality disorder may go away as children get older and become more mature. Treatment. Borderline personality disorder is mainly treated using psychotherapy, but medication may be added. Your doctor also may recommend hospitalization if your safety is at risk. Treatment can help you learn skills to manage and cope with your condition. It's also necessary to get treated for any other mental health disorder that often occurs along with borderline personality disorder, such as depression or substance abuse. With treatment, you can feel better about yourself and live a more stable, rewarding life. Okay, psychotherapy, also called talk therapy, is a fundamental treatment approach for borderline personality disorder. Your therapist may adapt the type of therapy to best meet your needs. The goals of psychotherapy are to help you focus on your current ability to function, learn to manage emotions that feel uncomfortable, reduce your impulsiveness by helping you observe feelings rather than acting on them, work on improving relationships by being aware of your feelings and those of others, learn about borderline personality disorder. Types of psychotherapy that have been found to be effective include dialectical behavior therapy. DBT includes group and individual therapy designed specifically to treat borderline personality disorder. DBT uses a skill-based approach to teach you how to manage your emotions, tolerate distress, and improve relationships. Schema-focused therapy. Schema-focused therapy can be done individually or in a group. It can help you identify unmet needs that have led to negative life patterns, which at some time may have been helpful for survival, but as an adult hurting in many areas of your life. Therapy focuses on helping you get your needs met in a healthy manner to promote positive life patterns. Mentalization based therapy based. MBT is a type of talk therapy that helps you identify your own thoughts and feelings at any given moment and create an alternative perspective on the situation. MBT emphasizes thinking before reacting. Systems training for emotional predictability and problem solving. STEPS. That's the abbreviation. It's actually quite cool.
Oh.
STEPS is a 20-week treatment that involves working in groups that incorporate your family members, caregivers, friends, or significant others into treatment. STEPS is used in addition to other types of psychotherapy. Transference-focused psychotherapy, TFP.
That is a mouthful.
Also called psychodynamic psychotherapy.
And that too.
TFP aims to help you understand your emotions and interpersonal difficulties through the developing relationships between you and your therapist. You then apply these insights to ongoing situations. And the last one, good psychiatric management. I have no idea why I struggled so much with that one. Anyway, this treatment approach relies on case management, anchoring treatment in an expectation of work or school participation. It focuses on making sense of emotionally difficult moments by considering the interpersonal context for feelings. It may integrate medications, groups, family education, and individual therapy. Then, medications. Although no drugs have been approved by the Food and Drug Administration specifically for the treatment of borderline personality disorder, certain medications may help with symptoms or co-occurring problems such as depression, impulsiveness, aggression, or anxiety. Medications may include antidepressants, antipsychotics, or mood-stabilizing drugs. Talk to your doctor about the benefits and side effects of each medication. Hospitalization. At times, you may need more intense treatment in a psychiatric hospital or clinic. Hospitalization may also keep you safe from self-injury or address suicidal thoughts or behaviors.
They're putting you in a straitjacket.
Can you ever be serious?
No.
No.
That's going to prevent you from like self-mutilation or suicide or being harmful to other people. Straitjackets, guys.
Okay, Dr. Seuss, thank you.
Only a pleasure. Anytime. I'll be here all the week.
Recovery takes time. Learning to manage your emotions, thoughts, and behaviors takes time. Most people improve considerably, but you may always struggle with some symptoms of borderline personality disorder. You may always struggle with... You may experience... I do apologize, I lost my sentence there.
I was like, I thought I was supposed to be serious.
Okay.
What just happened?
You may experience times when your symptoms are better or worse, but treatment can improve your ability to function and help you feel better about yourself. You have the best chance for success when you consult a mental health provider who has experience treating borderline personality disorder. Coping and support. Symptoms associated with borderline personality disorder can be stressful and challenging for you and those around you. You may be aware that your emotions, thoughts, and behaviors are self-destructive or damaging, yet you feel unable to manage them. In addition to getting professional treatment, you can help manage and cope with your condition if you learn about the disorder that you have and understand its causes and treatments, learn to recognize what may trigger angry outbursts or impulsive behavior, seek professional help and stick to your treatment plan, attend all therapy sessions and take medications as directed. Work with your mental health provider to develop a plan for what to do the next time a crisis occurs. Get treatment for related problems such as substance misuse. Consider involving people close to you in your treatment to help them understand and support you. Manage intense emotions by practicing coping skills such as the use of breathing techniques and mindfulness meditation.
Yoga.
Set limits. Yes. Set limits and boundaries for yourself and others by learning how to appropriately express emotions in a manner that doesn't push others away or trigger abandonment or instability. Don't make assumptions about what people are feeling or thinking about you. Reach out to others with the disorder to share insights and experiences. Build a support system of people who can understand and respect you. Keep up healthy lifestyles such as eating a healthy diet, being physically active, and engaging in social activities. Don't blame yourself for the disorder, but recognize your responsibility to get it treated. Preparing for your appointment. You may start by seeing your primary care doctor. After an initial appointment, your doctor may refer you to a mental health provider, such as a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I don't know why I'm struggling like this.
There's enough light. Like, I don't know what's going on.
I
with
do
her.
apologize,
She
people.
must be
My
tired.
brain is making up words as it's going. I don't know why.
Something's working faster than the other one. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if it's your mouth or your brain.
It's both. Here's some information to help you prepare for your appointment. What you can do before your appointment is make a list of any symptoms you or people close to you have noticed and for how long. Key personal information, including traumatic events in your past and any current major stresses. Your medical information, including other physical or mental health conditions. All medications you take, including prescriptions and over-the-counter medications, vitamins and other supplements, and the doses. Questions you want to ask your doctor so that you can make the most of your appointment. Take a family member or friend along if possible. Someone who has known you for a long time may be able to share important information with the doctor or mental health provider with your permission.
That's hectic. That's like really it's a bit of a heavy subject. I know generally people struggle to ask for help. I know Corinne and I are very guilty of that.
Yes.
I mean we're really, 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 really good friends, and I mean we regard each other as sisters, but still we struggle to speak to each other sometimes because you kind of feel vulnerable and you feel weak opening up, asking someone for help, and it's okay to feel weak sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're human, and yeah, I know I might be very hypocritical at this stage, but like recently I've opened up about a few things to my parents, that have been eating at me for a good couple of years, and I feel so much better because I've said what I wanted to say. I've gotten it off my chest, and it could be a silly example, but I mean just generally asking for help or advice, nothing wrong with that. It's like you're gonna feel so much better because now you know that you've spoken to someone whom you trust, and they might be able to point you in the right direction, or they might know someone that can help you work through that or get through that. So guys, never be afraid to ask for help. Like, regardless of what it is, it might be a minor problem for you, but in reality, it could be something major, or other way around. But yeah, like always, don't be afraid to speak, guys. Like, for real. Karina's looking very puzzled but focused. Like, intensely focused. Love it.
So that's like a few things that I gathered. And then there was this one article, this one journalist went out and she had interviews with people that suffer from bipolar. Not bipolar, listen to me.
It's the past.
Oh my goodness.
We need to move on.
Borderline personality disorder. I do apologize, people. I'm so sorry. So she wrote this article. I'll put the website's address in. And here's 7 things. The article's name is 7 Things People with Borderline Personality Disorder Want You to Know. So number 1, we're scared you're going to leave even when things are good, and we hate it too. One of the biggest symptoms of BPD is fear of abandonment, and this can occur even when things in the relationship seem to be going well. There's this pervasive
I was about to say, do I need to look at it?
Pervasive fear that people will leave us or that we aren't good enough for that person. Someone with BPD would do anything to stop that from happening, which is why they may come across as being clingy or needy. Though it can be difficult to
Info what? Emphasize.
thank you,
No problemo.
with.
See, guys, ask for help.
Remember that it stems from a place of fear, which can be incredibly hard to live with. Number 2, it feels like going through life with third-degree emotional burns. Everything is hot and painful to touch. This person says it exactly right. People with BBD have very intense emotions that can last from a few hours to even a few days and can change very quickly. For example, we can go from feeling very happy to suddenly feeling very low and sad. Sometimes having BPD is like walking on eggshells around yourself. We never know which way our mood is going to go, and sometimes it's hard to control. Even if we seem overly sensitive, remember that it's not always within our control. Number 3, everything is felt more intensely, good, bad, or otherwise. Our reaction to such feelings may seem out of proportion, but it's appropriate in our minds. Having BPD can be very intense, as though we're wavering between extremes. This can be exhausting for both us and for the people around us. But it's important to remember that everything the person with BPD is thinking is more than appropriate in their minds at the time. So please don't tell us we're being silly or make us feel as though our feelings aren't valid. It may take them time to reflect on our thoughts, but in the moment, things can feel scary as hell. This means not judging and giving space and time where it's warranted. Number 4, I don't have multiple personalities. Due to it being a personality disorder, BPD is often confused with someone having dissociative identity disorder, where people develop multiple personalities. But this isn't the case at all. People with BPD don't have more than one personality. BPD is a personality disorder in which you have difficulties with how you think and feel about yourself and other people, and are having problems in your life as a result of it. Number 5, we aren't dangerous or manipulative. We just need a little bit of extra love. There's still a huge stigma surrounding BPD. Many people still believe that those living with it can be manipulative or dangerous due to their symptoms. While this can be the case in a very small minority of people, most people with BPD are just struggling with their sense of self and their relationships. It's important to note that we are not dangerous people. In fact, people with mental illness are more likely to harm themselves than there are others. Number 6, it's exhausting and frustrating, and it's really hard to find quality, affordable treatment. Many people with BPD are untreated, but not because they're unwilling, it's because this mental illness isn't treated like many others. For one, BPD isn't treated with medication, it can only be treated with therapy. It's also true that due to stigma, some clinicians assume.
What's up?
I said it right. Anyway,
She just gave me this like death stare. I'm like, whoa, bro, like I'm just flicking my nail. That's all I did.
assume people with BPD will be difficult patients, and as such, it can be difficult to find effective treatment. Many people with BPD can benefit from intensive DBT, dialectical behavior therapy, programs, but these aren't the easiest to access, which is to say, if someone with BPD isn't getting better, don't be quick to blame them. Getting help is hard enough on its own. Number 7, we aren't unlovable and we love big. People with BPD have a lot of love to give, so much that it can be overwhelming. Relationships can feel like a whirlwind at times because when someone with BPD, especially those grappling with chronic feelings of emptiness and loneliness, makes a real connection, the rush can be just as intense as any other emotion they experience. This can make being in a
I
relationship.
was about to say, wow, bro.
I do apologize. This can make being in a relationship with someone with BBD difficult, but it also means that this is a person that has so much love to offer. They just want to know that their feelings are returned and may need a little more reassurance to ensure that your relationship is still fulfilling for you both. If you're in a relationship or have a loved one with BBD, it's important to do your research into the condition and be wary of the stereotypes that you may come across. And that is all she wrote.
Jeez, that's a lot of fucking information. Like, for real.
My throat is so sore now.
Like, I think it's so funny. Like, every single night when we do this, we always get so intimidated when we're reading something. It's like you're so out of breath. I was just thinking, like, we need to go to, like, walk around the block. I don't know, we need to get fitter so we can fucking read properly.
No, it's not
What's
about,
going on,
no,
guys?
It's not about the being fit part. It is about my voice isn't used to being this professional tone, and it strains my throat.
So you're a professional shit talker, is that what
Yes.
you're saying? At least that's one thing we excel at. That's brilliant. But yeah, like, let us know what you guys thought about this topic, and if you know anyone or if you yourself are suffering with this, get in touch with us. Let us know about some of your personal experiences, how you've handled it. If you've got it yourself, what do you do as a coping mechanism? You might be able to help someone else who's suffering with this, and they just either too scared or they don't want to ask for help because it's going to make them feel kind of inferior or less of a human. And I don't know, just I think it could help a lot of people if someone else out there was like, listen, dude, I've got this and you're going to be okay. I think in general, we as humans just need to know sometimes that we're going to be okay. It's going to get better. There's light at the end of the tunnel. There's a silver lining around a cloud, or whatever it may be. So get in touch with us. Let us know. And again, if there's anything else that you guys would like us to talk about, let us know as well. We would absolutely love to do that. Kareen's probably going to do the country episode for us at one point. I'm very convinced that's going to happen, and I think it's going to be awesome. So I don't know if there's anything from Kareen's side still.
No, I just for the listener that requested this, I hope that we have given you some insight on what you wanted to know, and
a better understanding.
Please, if you feel this talk to you in another level, please reach out. Because it's not easy to live with a mental disorder on your own. So that is all I wanted to say. So from my side, people, have a good one. Hope you enjoyed the segment. And please do like, follow, subscribe,
Share
your
things.
Yeah, we like to hear from you guys.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Get in communication with us. We do actually respond. And as you can hear, we do, if you guys recommend something, we actually do it. So
yeah, we not just all talk.
No.
Although that's all you know about us is we talk a shitload.
Because talking is our business, man.
It's what we do.
Yeah.
Talking crap mostly, but well, on occasions like this, we don't talk crap. So let me just kind of rephrase that. I don't want people getting mad at me or quoting me or whatever. But guys, like wherever you are in the world, whenever you're listening to this, have an awesome day. Have a great evening. Sleep tight, sweet dreams. Don't let the bed bugs or anything else bite, except if she asks nicely. But otherwise, like, I'm sorry I had to. But guys, so we will chat to you guys soon, and have a good one, a good whatever, Enjoy, man.
Okay, bye.
Bye.